Have you ever heard of the term situational awareness?
Sure.
I always thought it was, something for like fighter pilots
Right.
or people in like really intense situations.
Yeah.
But get this,
Okay.
situational awareness in a relationship says it's actually super important for building strong relationships.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's like
like
being all tuned into
Yeah.
those little cues in our relationships,
Okay.
almost like we're like detectives, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Reading the room,
Uh-huh.
it can help us understand our partners way better
It's fascinating.
and respond in ways that deepen our connection.
Yeah, it really is. Situational awareness in a relationship
Okay.
defines it as like
Oh,
being present in the moment with your partner,
okay.
recognizing their needs,
Uh-huh.
sometimes even before they say them out loud,
Wow.
and then responding
Okay.
in a way that makes them feel seen and understood.
So it's less about like those
Yeah.
big romantic gestures, and it's
Yeah.
more about paying attention,
Yeah.
the little things, those seemingly insignificant moments where
Yeah.
we show up for each other.
Yeah. So where do we even begin with this, like
Yeah.
so-called situational awareness?
The source emphasizes
Okay.
the importance of being aware
Yeah.
of not just what our partner is saying,
Mm-hmm.
but how they're saying it.
Oh, okay.
Think about their body language,
Mm.
their tone of voice,
Uh-huh.
even the slightest shift in their facial expressions.
Oh.
These nonverbal cues often speak volumes.
You're making me think about all those times I've taken my partners.
Yeah.
I'm fine at face value when maybe their body language was suggesting otherwise.
Right.
So how do we learn to decipher these nonverbal cues?
You don't have to be a mind reader.
Okay.
It's more about just paying attention
Okay.
and noticing patterns.
Does your partner tend to withdraw when they're stressed?
Oh.
Do they become more physically affectionate when they need reassurance?
Mm.
The more we observe and connect the dots,
Right.
the better we become at reading those subtle signals.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's almost like learning a new language,
it is. Yeah,
the language of our partner's emotional world.
exactly.
But doesn't it get exhausting to constantly be
Well, that's where the
analyzing their every move?
awareness part comes in.
Okay.
It's not about being like hyper vigilant
Okay.
or constantly second guessing them,
Right. Oh,
but
yeah.
rather cultivating like a more mindful approach
Okay.
to our interactions.
Uh-huh.
It's not about adding more to our busy lives,
Right.
but shifting our focus to what truly matters, connecting with our partner on a deeper level.
So how do we do that in a way that feels authentic?
Well, and not forced.
Creating a safe space
Okay.
where our partner feels comfortable.
In expressing their needs,
Right.
both verbally and non-verbally.
Okay.
And that starts with us being more present and attuned
Uh-huh.
in our daily interactions.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together,
Good.
but I feel like we're missing a key piece of the puzzle.
What's that?
How does all of this relate to those
Yeah.
bids for connection
Right.
we hear so much about?
You've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
According to situational awareness in a relationship,
Mm.
recognizing and responding to bids for connection
Yeah.
is at the heart of building a strong and lasting bond.
Mm.
These bids are
Okay.
essentially any attempt our
Right.
partner makes
Yeah.
to engage with us emotionally,
Okay.
whether it's a question, a touch,
Uh-huh.
a shared glance, or even just a sigh.
Wow, so it's about recognizing those subtle attempts to connect
Exactly.
and responding in a way that makes our partner feel seen and heard.
The source highlights
Okay.
the work of renowned relationship expert
Okay.
Dr. John Gottman,
Okay.
who found that couples who consistently turn towards each other's bids for connection
Right.
have much happier and more stable relationships.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's like we're constantly sending out these little signals,
Yeah.
hoping to connect with our partner.
Yeah.
And it's their response,
Right.
or lack thereof,
Exactly.
that shapes the emotional landscape of our relationship.
Situational awareness in a relationship emphasizes that it's not always easy
Okay.
to recognize these bids,
Right.
especially if they're subtle or indirect.
Okay.
That's where being attuned to our partner's unique way of communicating comes into play.
So it's almost like we need to become experts
Yes.
in our partner,
Right.
learning their specific love language,
Yes.
their triggers,
Uh-huh.
and the ways they tend to express their needs.
Yeah.
But how do we do that without it feeling like a chore?
The key is To approach it with curiosity
Okay.
and a genuine desire
Mm-hmm.
to understand our partner more deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of getting lost in the analysis,
Yeah.
focus on creating those moments
Yeah,
of
sure.
genuine connection
Uh-huh.
where you're fully present and engaged with each other.
Okay.
Put away the distractions, make eye contact,
Okay.
and listen with your whole heart.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about shifting our focus
Yeah.
from figuring out our partner
Right?
to simply being with them in the moment
Exactly.
and allowing ourselves to be surprised and delighted
Yes.
by what we discover along the way.
But being aware of those nonverbal cues
Yeah.
and bids for connection
Uh-huh.
is just the starting point.
Oh, okay.
Situational awareness in a relationship also highlights
Right.
the importance of understanding
Uh-huh.
the underlying psychological and sociological factors
Oh, wow. Okay.
that shape our interactions.
What kind of psychological theories are we talking about?
Well, one of the most relevant
Okay.
is attachment theory,
Okay.
which explores the
Right.
patterns of behavior we develop
Okay.
in relationships
Uh-huh.
based on our early childhood experiences.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Have you?
There are different attachment styles, right?
Yeah.
Like secure, anxious, and avoidant.
Exactly.
Okay.
And understanding our own attachment style,
Uh-huh.
as well as our partners,
Okay.
can shed light on
Okay.
why we react the way we do
Hmm.
in certain situations
Okay.
and how we tend to
Yeah.
seek or avoid connection.
So, for example, if someone has anxious attachment style,
Yes.
they might be more prone to, like,
Mm-hmm.
misinterpreting their partner's actions
Yes,
or needing more frequent reassurance.
precisely.
Okay.
And someone with an avoidant attachment style
Uh-huh.
might pull away
Mm.
when things get emotionally intense,
Okay.
even if their partner is simply bidding for connection.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's like we're looking at relationships
Yeah.
through a whole new lens,
It is, yeah.
recognizing that our past experiences
Right.
and subconscious patterns
Yeah.
can play a significant role in how we interact with our partners.
Exactly. And it's not about labeling ourselves or our partners,
Okay.
but rather just developing a deeper understanding of
Yeah.
our emotional needs
Uh-huh.
and how we can better meet them
Yeah.
in our relationships.
So in a way,
Yeah.
situational awareness isn't just about being present in the moment,
Right.
but also about understanding
Yeah.
the baggage, both our own and our partners,
Yeah.
that we bring to the table.
That's a great way to put it. It's about recognizing
Yeah.
that our past experiences and psychological wiring
Yeah.
can shape how we interpret our partner's actions
Right.
and how we respond to their bids for connection.
Okay, I'm definitely starting to see
Deeper.
the deeper layers of this concept. What about the sociological factors?
Well, situational awareness in a relationship touches on
Okay.
how societal norms and expectations
Uh-huh.
can also influence our behavior
Okay.
in relationships. For example, gender roles
Right.
can play a significant role
Cool.
in how we express our needs
Uh-huh.
and how we respond to our partner's bids for connection.
So, for instance, men
Yeah,
are often conditioned to be
Yeah.
less emotionally expressive,
right.
which might make it harder for them to articulate their needs
Yeah.
or recognize their partner's
Yeah,
more subtle bids for connection.
exactly.
Huh.
And women are often socialized to be more nurturing
Right.
and emotionally attuned,
Right.
which can sometimes lead to
Yeah.
their own needs being overlooked or downplayed.
So it's like we're navigating this complex interplay of
It is, yeah.
our personal history,
Uh-huh.
psychological makeup, and the societal messages we've internalized throughout our lives.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
And that's why situational awareness is so crucial.
Hmm.
It's about becoming aware
Okay.
of all these factors, the seen and the unseen,
Wow.
and how they shape our interactions with our partners.
This is all so insightful, but I'm also wondering,
Yeah,
how do we put this into practice
that's a great question.
without it becoming overwhelming?
And one we'll dive into more deeply
Okay.
in the next part of our deep dive. But
Okay,
for now,
fair
I think the key takeaway is this.
Okay.
Cultivating situational awareness starts with a genuine desire
Okay.
to understand our partner more deeply
Yeah.
and create a space
Yeah.
where they feel safe
Okay.
to be themselves
Yeah.
fully and authentically.
This has been a great start. We'll be back in a moment
Okay.
to explore some practical tips
Sounds good.
for putting situational awareness into action in our own relationships.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive into situational awareness.
Right.
Before we went deeper into those psychological and sociological factors at play we were talking about,
Yeah.
those bids for connection.
Yeah, those little moments where our partner reaches out, hoping to connect with us
Exactly.
on an emotional level.
Situational awareness in a relationship really emphasizes how crucial it is
Right.
to not only recognize those bids,
Right.
but to respond to them in a way
Yeah.
that strengthens the bond.
But that's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Right.
Life throws curveballs.
Yeah.
It's impossible to be perfectly attuned to our partner's needs all the time.
247. Right.
But what's fascinating is that even small shifts in how we respond to those bids
Okay.
can make a world of difference.
I'm all ears.
Okay.
What are some of those shifts that we can make?
Well, sometimes it's as simple as putting down our phone,
Right.
making eye contact, and truly listening when our partner is talking.
Right.
It's about resisting the urge
Okay.
to jump in with solutions
Right.
or advice,
Yeah.
and instead just being present with them
Right.
in that moment.
So it's about being a good listener,
Yes,
not a fixer.
right.
But what about those times when we genuinely can't give our partner our full attention?
Yeah.
Like, what if I'm in the middle of a work deadline or something?
Right.
Is it better to just ignore the bid altogether than to give a half-hearted response?
That's a really insightful question.
Yeah.
And situational awareness in a relationship acknowledges that we can't always just drop everything to respond to our partner's needs.
Okay.
But even in those moments,
Uh-huh.
we can still acknowledge the bid
Okay.
and let our partner know we'll get back to them.
So something like,
Yeah.
hey, I really want to hear about this, but
Yeah.
I have to finish this task first.
Right.
Can we circle back in an hour?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about letting your partner know that you see them,
Oh,
you hear them,
yeah.
and their need for connection is important to you,
Oh.
even if you can't fulfill it at that exact moment.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between being responsive and also setting healthy boundaries when needed.
Exactly.
But honestly, sometimes I feel like I miss those bids altogether.
Right.
I'm just not great at reading those subtle cues.
Right.
Any advice for those of us who...
One of the most powerful things you can do is simply ask.
Oh, really?
Situational awareness in a relationship suggests
Okay.
getting curious about your partner's inner world.
Okay.
If you notice a shift in their energy or demeanor,
Okay.
gently inquire.
So instead of assuming
Yeah.
I know what's going on,
Right.
I could say something like, hey, you seem a bit quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about creating a safe space for your partner to open up
Right.
without feeling pressured or judged.
Okay.
And sometimes just that simple act of asking
Yeah.
can be the turning towards they need.
That's a great reminder that communication is key.
It is.
But speaking of communication,
Okay.
I'm curious about how understanding
Yeah.
those psychological and sociological factors we talked about earlier
Right.
can help us better navigate our relationships.
Well, attachment theory, for example, can be incredibly helpful in understanding
Okay.
our partner's reactions and communication patterns.
Right.
Someone with an anxious attachment style
Yeah.
might need more verbal reassurance
Yeah.
or physical affection, while someone with an avoidance style might need more space
Okay.
to process their emotions
Okay.
before engaging
Yeah.
in a deep conversation.
So it's not about trying to change
Right.
our partner's attachment style,
Mm,
but rather understanding
yeah,
how it influences their needs
exactly.
and how we can best meet them.
Situational awareness in a relationship emphasizes that this understanding can
Yeah.
lead to more empathy
Right.
and compassion in our interactions.
Yeah.
Instead of getting frustrated
Right.
when our partner reacts in a way we don't understand,
Right.
we can pause and ask ourselves,
Right.
what's going on for them right now? What might they be needing from me in this moment?
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
It's about moving away from blame
Yeah.
and judgment
Yeah,
and towards curiosity and understanding.
exactly.
But what about those societal factors,
Mm.
like gender roles that we
Ah.
talked about earlier?
Well, it starts with recognizing
Okay.
that these norms and expectations
Right.
can often be unconscious. We might not even realize how they're shaping our behavior or our expectations.
Right. Of our partner.
So, for example, a man might feel pressure to be
Yeah.
the strong one
Right.
and suppress his emotions,
Right.
while a woman might feel pressure to be
Yeah.
the nurturer and put her own needs aside.
Exactly.
Wow.
And these roles can become so ingrained that we don't even question them.
Right.
But situational awareness in a relationship
Okay.
encourages us
Uh-huh.
to challenge these assumptions
Okay.
and have open conversations with our partner
Right.
about how these societal expectations might be playing out in our relationship.
So it's about having the courage
It is.
to question those deeply ingrained beliefs and create a space for more authentic and equitable ways of relating to each other.
Precisely.
Wow.
And remember,
Okay.
this is an ongoing process of learning and growth.
Right.
It's about being willing to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Okay. To challenge our own biases and to be open to feedback from our partner.
This is all so insightful.
It is.
But I have to admit,
Yeah.
I'm also feeling a little daunted by the complexity of it all. It's like there are so many layers to uncover. So many factors to consider.
Don't let the complexity discourage you.
Okay.
Situational awareness in a relationship reminds us it's not about achieving perfection, but rather about making small, consistent shifts in how we approach our interactions. And the good news is, even those small shifts can have a ripple effect, creating a more positive and fulfilling dynamic in our relationship.
That's encouraging to hear.
It is.
So it's not about trying to master some complicated formula,
No.
but rather about making a conscious effort
Exactly.
to be more present, attuned,
Yeah.
and responsive to our partner's needs.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
And the more we practice, the more natural it becomes and the more connected and fulfilling our relationships become as a result.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation.
It has been.
But before we wrap up, part 2,
Okay.
I want to circle back to something.
Okay.
Situational awareness in a relationship emphasizes the idea that this awareness isn't just about our partner, but also about ourselves.
That's a crucial point.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in analyzing our partner's behavior and trying to figure out what they need.
Right.
But true situational awareness also involves being aware of our own emotional state, our needs, and how we're communicating them.
So it's a two-way street.
It is.
We need to be just as mindful of our own inner world as we are of our partners.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the self-awareness is crucial for being able to effectively communicate our needs and set healthy boundaries in our relationship.
This has been such a rich
It has.
and insightful discussion.
I agree.
When we come back for the final part of this episode, we'll explore some practical tips and strategies
Sounds good.
for cultivating both self-awareness and situational awareness in our relationships.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Thanks for sticking with us.
We've been having such a fascinating conversation about
It has been.
situational awareness in relationships.
It really has.
And I feel like I've already gained so many insights.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm really eager to hear more about the practical side of things.
Okay, yeah.
How do we actually put all of this into practice?
Well, situational awareness in a relationship offers some really helpful tips and strategies.
Okay.
One of the things that struck me was this idea of creating rituals of connection.
What exactly does that mean?
It's more about just finding those small intentional ways to connect with your partner on a regular basis.
Right.
It could be as simple as like sharing a cup of coffee together each morning and just talking about your plans for the day.
Okay.
Or having a tech-free dinner a couple of nights a week where you put away your phones and truly focus on each other.
So it's about carving out those pockets of time where you're fully present with each other.
Exactly.
Even amidst the business of life.
And the beauty of these rituals is that they don't have to be time-consuming or complicated.
Right.
Even just 5 or 10 minutes of focused connection can make a world of difference.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about making those small moments count.
Exactly.
What are some other practical tips that stand out to you?
Another one that resonated with me is the importance of
expressing appreciation and gratitude for our partners.
That's so true.
It's so easy to just get caught up in the day-to-day routine.
Yeah, we can get so used to their presence and contribution that we take them for granted.
It happens to the best of us.
So how can we be more intentional about expressing appreciation?
It doesn't have to be anything grand or over the top. A simple thank you for making dinner.
Yeah.
Or like a heartfelt compliment on how they look can go a long way.
Okay.
It's about noticing those little things and taking the time to acknowledge them.
It's about letting our partner know that they're seen and appreciated. Yeah. Not just for the big things, but for the everyday acts of love and kindness.
Exactly. And the more we practice gratitude, the more we tend to notice those positive things our partner brings to our lives.
Which can create a more positive and loving dynamic overall.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those times when conflict inevitably arises?
Oh, right.
How can situational awareness help us navigate?
Well, one of the key skills we talked about earlier was active listening.
Yeah.
When our partner is upset or frustrated, it's so tempting to get defensive or jump in with solutions.
Right.
But situational awareness in a relationship reminds us that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just simply listen with empathy and understanding.
So it's about putting aside our own ego.
Yeah.
And really trying to see things from their perspective.
Exactly.
Even if we don't agree with them.
And remember, validating their emotions doesn't mean you're agreeing with them.
Right.
You can say something like, I hear that you're feeling angry. And I can understand why you would feel that way.
That's such a helpful distinction.
It is.
It's about acknowledging their feelings without necessarily endorsing their viewpoint.
Exactly.
It's about creating a safe space for them to express themselves without feeling judged.
And once they feel heard and understood, it's much easier to have a productive conversation about finding solutions.
This is all so helpful.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, sometimes I feel like I'm just not very good at reading my partner's cues.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that.
I miss those subtle signs. Or I misinterpret them.
Well, one helpful tip is to simply ask your partner.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Just straight up ask them what they're feeling.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
It might feel awkward at first.
Yeah.
But it can be incredibly effective. You can say something like, I'm noticing you seem a bit withdrawn tonight.
Okay.
Is everything okay? Is there anything you want to talk about?
So instead of trying to guess what they're thinking or feeling, we can just ask directly.
Exactly.
And create an open space for communication.
And you can also ask for feedback. Let your partner know that you're working on being more situationally aware.
Yeah.
And ask them to help you understand their cues.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's about turning this into a collaborative effort.
Exactly.
Where you're both learning and growing together.
And remember, this is a journey,
Yeah.
not a destination.
Right.
There will be times when you miss cues or misinterpret your partner's needs. The important thing is to keep practicing.
Right.
Keep communicating.
Yeah.
And keep striving to be the best partner you can be.
This has been such an enlightening deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new toolbox for building stronger, more fulfilling relationships.
Situational awareness in a relationship reminds us to be present, attentive, and responsive to our partner's emotional world. Recognize those bids for connection, big and small, and respond in a way that says, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here for you.
That's beautiful.
It is, and it's in those small everyday moments that we truly build a love that lasts.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course, my pleasure.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights and practical tips.
Absolutely.
For creating more fulfilling relationships.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep exploring,
keep
connecting, and keep the love alive.